Okay, we are already in the second half of this month of January 2025, and at this point, we thought that at least we would have gotten some word on Playboi Carti's new album, I Am Music, since he asked the fans, do you want me to drop this year or in January, in December of last year? So today, we're going to go over everything that has happened since then and why right now the only point of reference that we have is a release date for February, but we'll talk about that, so let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 10 seconds into the future, but you can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and recaps everything that's been happening in hip-hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. So as I just said, we had that one clip after Rolling Loud Miami where Playboi Carti asked his fans if he should drop the album this year, so meaning in 2024, still in December, like we talked about, or in January, so referring to this month right now that we're living in. And fans obviously said now. One of the guys, you all know him, he said, whenever you want. We still hate that guy. But then at least we thought it should be coming in January, and now it's already in the second half of the month and we still don't have the record. Now, the only thing that we did get from him is a new fit pic again and a repost of Young Thug's song Icy. So from him, nothing really is coming, neither on his main social media account or on his Opium Finsta, so we can't really rely on him. But as you might have seen, DJ Academics had some stuff to say about this. And as always, it's DJ Academics. Take this with the biggest grain of salt that you could possibly find because it's Ac. He said, though, in one of the posts from a couple of days ago, or over a week ago at this point, he said that he heard from people close to Carti that right now it's sounding like February. Apparently, when he did Rolling Loud, he told them it was coming in February. So again, take this with the hugest grain of salt that you can think of because it's DJ Academic saying this, and he knows some people that heard Carti say this when he did Rolling Loud. Keep in mind, the same Rolling Loud where he asked the fans if he should drop that month or the next, which then neither of that really came. So, you know, take this with a grain of salt, but Ac also went on to say something else only yesterday, which was really a bit more interesting because it reveals a little bit more about how reliable this could actually be. He said, if you a Carti fan, put 5% stock on him dropping in February, 85% sure it's dropping this year. Now, a 5% stock is definitely less than a week before when he said that it should be coming in February from the sources that he's had at Rolling Loud. So a 5% stock is really not that high. So we can pretty much say if the only thing that we have right now is DJ Academics and his source is Trust Me Bro, then this thing is not coming in February. He said 85% sure it's dropping this year. 85% is not 100%, and he's saying that it's dropping this year. So for him, in his own equation, there's a 15% chance it's not coming this year, which is crazy to think about. He also talked about, and I get why he's saying this, we've been talking about this for such a long time, but I do think that there's been somewhat of a movement against this. He's also been saying that for Playboi Carti right now, it's all hype. And he knows that, you know, he talked about artists going through these tides of just like a lot of hype and then hype dies down. He gave the example of Lil Baby when he dropped My Turn, and that was like the biggest album, but then it kind of ebbed down a little bit again. And he's saying the reason Carti is doing all of this with this rollout is because he can make sure he's on the peak. And he just stays there. But I do think, also judging from the comments that you'll leave under my videos and under the polls, I can tell that most of you are just like, you don't care anymore. You don't care about the album anymore because you've been disappointed so many times by Carti, by him not dropping the album when he was actually supposed to, or at least gives no reason on why he didn't, or never gives us anything concrete. So I do think that what he's saying was true for the past years, but especially now after we've had a rollout startup again for like the 5th time and he still didn't come through, the dynamics really shifted a little bit because fans are now getting fed up with this. So in theory, he's right, but in the case of Carti, it's just been going on for way too long for that theory to still hold true. Now, another interesting situation was on a live stream from Iggy. She was asked to tell Carti to drop the album, and she's then also said that she and her and his son haven't heard from him in over 6 months. She said nobody knows where he is, which I think just speaks also for his parenting skills, but we knew about that. But it also means that everybody's kind of confused what's up with Carti right now. Now, also one thing that I did want to show y'all is that Lil Baby, after dropping his new album, Wham!, he did a cover story for Complex magazine, and on there he had this interview that was called Altitude Adjustment, the Lil Baby cover story, in which he was also asked about Playboi Carti, and I wanted to show y'all this. So he was asked, I saw that you connected with Playboi Carti via text. He represents the other side of Atlanta, raps that's very different from yours. What are your thoughts on his style of music? And he says, Playboi Carti is my man. I've known Carti for a long time. I always knew him, but we just never really did music together, because most of the people who I've known for a while, it don't be weird making music together, but I don't be pressed if they don't be pressed. It is one of those things where it could happen whenever we want it to happen. So it usually just don't be happening a lot, versus him calling me like, bro, I need you for a song, or I'm calling him, bro, I need you for a song. It just be more organic. It's inevitable for us to be in the same place. We always be in the same place. It just happens that we aren't in the studio together all the time. But then when we do be in the studio together, it just flows like water. And then he was asked, how often are you two in the studio together? And he said plenty of times. He's from Atlanta, so he's right there. And then he was asked, is there a chance he's on Dominique? Me and him would probably be on some turn shit. We two turned together for him to be on Dominique, which is weird then, because why wasn't he on Wham!, which was the Turned album? And then he was also asked, do you think you might end up on I Am Music? And he says, I feel like I'm already on I Am Music, just being from Atlanta. Everybody plays a part in it, just everybody's albums. You know what I'm saying? We all feed off each other in certain ways. So basically saying that he's not going to be on I Am Music. He just says that he feels he's already on the record because he's from Atlanta and all the albums influence each other, which is just saying that he's not going to be on the record, but he sees the influence. But I just think it's funny that now we're also looking at Lil Baby interviews where he talks about Carti, just because there's such a drought in sources that we could get this from. But this is honestly the most that we've heard about this album now. As you can tell, it's pretty dry right now. You know, we don't have a lot, but at least this is what happened over the past week or so since I dropped the last video. I wanted to give you a little update just to make sure everybody's caught up and up to date on where this album is, when it could be coming out. A week ago, we thought February was pretty secure. Now, Axe said it's a 5% chance of February and an 85% chance of 2025, which is very depressing, thinking that it's not 100%. You know, it's crazy. In 2024, we talked about how crazy it would be if he didn't drop in 2024. And now we're 2 weeks into 2025, and we're talking about the probabilities that it's dropping this year. That's insane to me. But I want to know what y'all think about this. Do you think this is just as crazy as I think it is, the way that we're just, we don't get any info on this from him, from the artist himself, or when do you think it's dropping? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.